Yesterday, a famous West Virginian passed away, a man named Jerry West. Those of you familiar with sports or maybe even culture itself know who Jerry West is. A lot of people don't know, probably still today, and I didn't know there for a long time, that Jerry West was the symbol, was the pattern for the logo of the NBA. It shows a player in silhouette dribbling with his left hand. That was patterned after Jerry West. As as I told you before, I'm a West Virginian. I grew up there, and I grew up on a cattle farm. Jerry West grew up in abject poverty. The reason Jerry West is probably so well known to me is my dad grew up with him. Essentially, dad didn't live next to him, but Dad watched him play as a young man. Watched him play for. He knew about him in high school. He knew about him. He watched him play when he played for West Virginia University. And Dad, told me growing up about Jerry West, and he was just the greatest, probably the greatest basketball player, maybe the greatest athlete to ever come out of the state of West Virginia. And then Jerry West, he retired from the game. I still remember in 1972. Dad and I were watching the NBA All-Star game, and the West team, which it was the East and West, and the West team, which Jerry played that year, was down 1 point with 3 seconds left in the game. There was no 3-point. There was no 3-point shot back in those days, but the Western team was down 1 point as the game came to an end. They inbounded the ball to Jerry, and Jerry took a jump shot from about half court. He launched that ball, and that thing swished on the other end, and the West team won that game. He shot right over Clyde Frazier, who was also a great athlete and an excellent defender. I never seen anything like it, and I mean that place went crazy. But Jerry West, and if you know anything about the career of Jerry West, he quite often did that. There was a championship game against the Boston Celtics where he launched one probably longer than half court to, I believe, tie that game and send it into overtime. But Jerry West was an exceptional athlete. He was a fierce competitor. My understanding is that competition was so important to him. He couldn't sleep. He couldn't eat right. And he was just one of a kind. And for me, NBA basketball pretty well died. My interest in it pretty well died when Jerry West retired, and so it just was never quite the same to me afterwards. Jerry West went on, became a basketball executive for the Lakers, and he made some exceptional deals, and he was largely the one responsible to get Shaq back in LA and get Kobe. He signed Kobe Bryant. Jerry West wasn't just a winner on the court in his high school years or his college years or his NBA years. He was a winner as an executive too. He set up some excellent teams there in Los Angeles and brought Kobe Bryant to LA, and he just made that whole franchise a winner that maybe even wasn't when he was there as a player, because they were just often dominated by the Boston Celtics. But Bill Russell, who played for the Celtics, often said Jerry West played in one game they lost, but he tied up. I think Bill Russell said Jerry West was was one of the greatest players he ever knew. But Jerry, as long as Jerry lived, and I'm not don't mean to belabor this point, but Jerry West came from abject poverty in the coal fields. But as long as he was around, the state of West Virginia, if you come from there wasn't a lot of famous athletes from West Virginia. There wasn't a lot of famous entertainers from there like there are in a lot of other states. And West Virginians just oftentimes seem like maybe they get an attitude about them where they think that they don't matter as much as people from other places, but West Virginians are fiercely loyal to their state. They're proud of their West Virginia heritage. Those things mean a lot to them. And because of that, but there's still kind of an attitude, people, I think, in other states. And I think this goes clear back to the New York Times stirring trouble and taking pictures during the Hatfield-McCoy feuds. If you see some of the things the New York Times wrote about them in that time, you may understand the attitude West Virginians have toward the rest of the world. Because I believe the New York Times turned around and created that and made a situation that caused that feud to continue for many years. But as I said, West Virginians didn't have a lot of famous people from their state. But Jerry West succeeded. He went to the NBA. He became famous. He became successful. He had some wealth. And I think people that grew up in West Virginia, like me, got to thinking, if Jerry West can make it, maybe I can too. And so Jerry West was an inspiration for many of us. His passing yesterday, born in 1938, he was pretty well contemporary of my dad. It seems like I lost a little bit more of my childhood there yesterday when he passed away. And the connection that I had and he had to my dad just reminds me of his passing and leaves me a little sad about that. Jerry West passed away yesterday. He's been around my entire life, 86 years old. Jerry West has passed on. Rest in peace, Jerry. We'll miss you, sir. Bye now.